Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock Goddess here on the rocks. Total entertainment. Coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Today, I have a real special interview with Chaz Leon from the Kings of Thrash, my friend. We've been wanting to do this, I think, probably since I met him and Jeff. God, it's going to be a year ago. So let's get him in and get the party started. What's
Karen,
up, Chaz? What's up, man?
what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, it's going well.
Okay, awesome. Because this is a long time coming.
This is.
Long time coming.
Are we live, by the way?
Yes, we are live.
Okay, so I'll go into entertainment mode. So every question has to be entertaining somehow. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, you're fine. So
This
really
is a long time.
what I want to do with you is I really want to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Just give me kind of a small synopsis on how you got started in this game of rock and roll.
Sure, I will. But before we do that, I just want to say that this is long overdue. Carol, we've been trying to schedule this for a year. Carol, for those of you who are watching, listening out there, are you sharing it on social media?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This will get dropped later tonight.
Oh, okay. You're recording it and then going to drop
it
later.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll just act like it's live. But yeah, for those of you people that will be watching this, Carol is a badass. She's been a big fan and supporter. It's just awesome on the scene. It just kicks ass. I like the shirt you're wearing, by the way.
Of course.
And we have much to talk about. She's come out to you were at our Vegas show. I think that was the third show we did with Kings of Thrash.
Right. I didn't get to meet you at that show, but I met Jeff. We got to hang out in Chicago. Let me tell you a funny
story. Let me tell you a funny story about the first show, because I remember you. I remember you specifically because you were in the front row, like as you always are, and you were on the railing. And now I know because I've seen you at shows, and you're just like you're absorbing it, you're taking it in, but you looked like you weren't having a good time, and like you were kind of there doing this. You were kind of like just watching, and like everyone else around you was going crazy. And then I'm like, are you seriously? I'm like, we're up here fucking shredding, and you're just gonna sit there like that in the front row. I forget what song it was, but I was like staring at you the whole time. I'm like, you better start moving. And you finally went like that. I'm like, okay, she's digging it. So
yeah, I mean, it was funny, because do you remember the story, Chaz, I told about that show?
I don't.
Okay, so I'll just briefly tell you. Everybody pretty knows this, but I was supposed to be at another show.
Okay.
And two of my followers kept on DMing me the whole day. You have to come to the Kings of Thrash. And I'm like, dude, I'm covering a show right down the street. I can't be in two places. So he kept doing it. And finally, I gave in. I said, okay, I'll be there. And my friend Beverly Feldman actually had an extra ticket.
Cool.
But I brought a friend. So, I mean, whatever. But anyway, make a long story short, I was not supposed to be at that show. And I ended up going and staying way later than I was supposed to, because I was supposed to cover another show down the street at another club. But let me tell you something. I was freaking blown away. I'm sure you've met my friend Brad before. He was there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. He's my follower. He's the one that kept DMing me all day. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm like,
that's rock and roll, baby.
Right. So anyway, the rest is history. I met Jeff after the show, and then we became fast friends, and then I went to Chicago to see you guys in my hometown.
Yes, that's right. Remember
Which
that
was
first gig of the
which was
tour.
great, man. The first show, the first night of the tour. The Forge is an amazing venue. You guys killed it there. I
That
did
was fun.
so I did so much promo for that show. I was like so happy that that place was freaking packed.
That was fun. That was a good crowd, and that was good. You know, we were just like, oh man, I hope every show's like this. But it was
Right?
good. That was a good start. And then I will get to your question. I just wanted to give a little. I wanted to give your viewers a little background, and then
Right.
Carol was the ultimate badass, and met us in Australia. We will get to that, and then
Yes.
you met us on the last night, and we were,
Right.
at least me personally, I was so tired. but you were awesome. You were a freaking trooper, and I know you had your own adventure out there.
Oh
But
yeah.
we'll get to
We'll
that.
talk about that too.
Yeah, but I just wanted to let everybody know that you are a badass, and we love you, and
Oh,
you're
thanks,
awesome for
Chad.
the scene, and anybody that follow Carol, and just the work that you do for the scene and keeping rock and roll alive, like young bands, veteran bands. Carol's awesome.
Thanks, Chaz. Yeah. I mean, I love what I do. And to me, it's not even really a job, you know.
Yeah,
But I love it. So
awesome. Well, yeah. Let me get to the first question. Okay, how did I get started? Way back in the day. Let's see. I think I grew up. I guess I kind of came of musical age in like the early to mid 1990s. So I'm of that generation that just caught the tail end of 80s metal and more of the grunge sort of era. But I that definitely the 80s metal as a child totally. One of my first memories was seeing um, the two things. Obviously, Back to the Future. At the end when he plays the Chuck Berry, kick ass, and then of course Guns N' Roses, November Rain, the Slash guitar solo. I mean, I was just in awe of that. I was just, of course, I believed the music video was real. I was like, hey, this is how people live, right? I want to live like that. I just want to walk around and fucking, play guitar, in a fucking abandoned, you know, church parking lot and just, look badass. And
right.
right. But that was it. And then, just got into music, and you know, I got really passionate about it because I won't get into super detail here, but just people get into music for all kinds of reasons, and then like it connected with me. I also played sports, so I tell my friends like that have seen. Have you seen the movie Dazed and Confused? The character
Yeah,
Randall
yeah.
Pink Floyd,
Uh-huh.
who's like the former jock that went into music or something. That's kind of me, except I was nowhere near that cool. So like, but I used to be like that kind of guy. But then I got into playing music and stuff, and I just loved it for all kinds of reasons. I was able to connect with it, just the way that the whole scene, and alienation and all that shit. Just it was perfect. It was perfect for what I was going through. I had kind of a fucked up family, so but yeah, so it was a way for me to connect, a way for me to express myself, and then just kick ass. And I started playing guitar when I was about 14. No, no, about 12. But I got like seriously started practicing, did the high school thing when I was about 14. And it had to be metal. It had to be metal. And like I originally, liked like distorted guitar and stuff, and I liked like Offspring and Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden, Nirvana, stuff like that. And Metallica was a little bit softer version
Right.
during the 90s, but it was still Metallica. But I remember like I was listening to like I think it was an old Offspring album like Smash or something that was kind of like skate punk or whatever. And my older brother was like walking by and he's like, "Oh, Offspring, cool." He's like, "You like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I dig it." He's like, "Well, what do you like about it?" I'm like, "Oh, I like the distorted guitar." He's like, "Oh." So he takes out Master of Puppets, puts it down, and I'm like, "Oh, Metallica." Oh, you know, because I'd seen Enter Sandman and
Right.
Unforgiven and stuff like that. And then when I listened to Master of Puppets, that was it.
Oh yeah.
That converted me. Nothing else existed but heavy metal. Everything sucked but metal, and you know, obviously I don't think that way anymore. But at the time, I just became a total metalhead.
Yeah, it's funny because Ride the Lightning, I actually worked with a radio station at the time, and
Yeah,
I actually got the radio copy of Ride the Lightning because it has an extra long version on there. And I just, that was it. And Master of Puppets, I mean, oh my God. I mean,
yeah. Did
yeah.
you did you do the Kill 'Em All thing, or because Metallica was like the underground?
Yeah. Now, see, that part of Metallica in the beginning, it was kind of underground.
Yeah,
It was more, I wouldn't say it was punk, okay, but it was those people that were into punk and, death punk and all that stuff.
yeah,
They were Metallica fans
yeah,
because at that time, Metallica was ooh, you know what
yeah,
I mean? But until, because I wasn't a big Injustice fan at all. That's
yeah,
not one of my favorite records. But when I got Ride the Lightning,
yeah.
the Black Album, of course, we all love that. But
I'm a fan. I think the songwriting is great. I understand why people don't like it because it's not thrash, but like the songs kick out. Like, if it's got a good
yeah,
song, I don't really care what it is. I just like the
again, I'm a fan for life because I saw Metallica. My best friend took me to
yeah,
see the Reload tour in Chicago at UIC Pavilion um, downtown. And let me tell you, that was where things were happening, things were breaking and stuff. And it was like part of the show. I don't know if you remember that tour, but it was like they specifically had stunt people.
that's right. I remember that. I remember that. Well, I remember seeing, obviously I remember seeing videos where it,
Right.
like it would explode, and like it was right before they did And Justice for All. Like they would do, like, I think they'd play about an hour, and then they'd be like, "Okay, we're going home," and then they'd walk off stage, and then everything would
Yes.
explode, and then the Raptors would come swinging down.
Uh-huh.
They did a version of that too. The first time I saw Metallica, and by the way, we haven't really talked. I can talk for a long time, so you're gonna cut me off.
Well, no, we'll just talk about this subject, then we'll move on. But
Okay, okay, just FYI.
yeah,
But,
you're good. You're good.
but yeah, when I saw Metallica in this, I saw them I think in '98 on the Summer Sanitarium tour, and they had a version of that where it was like it was something was swinging from the Raptors, which was fucking cool,
Right.
you know. But you kind of knew at that point that it was part of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just saw them recently at SoFi, and in
I
terms of
saw
like,
that. I saw your lives and your pictures, man. I'm like, oh my God.
yep, yep, and but yeah, to move it forward, one of my all-time favorite bands. I started playing in bands in high school. You know, just got I got you know, I just went right into that whole thing. And then when I was in high school, like I think like hardcore was popular, new metal was popular, grunge was popular, but there was a time period in the mid to late '90s where heavy metal was just not cool. And you know, we talk about it. I mean, everybody, you know, Dave Ellison and I talk about it. I remember Anthrax was playing. You know, they would play small clubs. You know, like this was like that was the dark ages of heavy metal. It was just not considered cool. You know, and but for some reason, you know, like here we are, a bunch of young, you know, teenage guys and everything, and it's like you can't deny it. It's like, not, you know, everyone's trying to like pretend it's not cool, but yet Metallica and Pantera and Megadeth and Testament, we're all just like, this shit's badass. Like
Right.
we're just kind of
Yeah.
like how did this not become cool? Like I get it, music needs to change, but it's just like, you know, you know, no one is listening to that, but we're blasting Pantera and Metallica and all kinds of underground shit, you know, like, you know, In Flames and Children of Bodom were coming up at the time.
Yeah, suicide tendencies, and then I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
just yeah, there was a lot of underground
yeah.
bands at the time.
But yeah, I mean, we like I was doing the first band that I joined was like a new metal band, and I kept like just playing like metal, like thrash metal. And I was just like, why are we not playing this? Like, why are the guitar riffs so simple? Why are there no solos? I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, but like, you know, I mean, I understand, you know, at the time. I mean, now I understand, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. But at the time, I was so into metal, it's just nothing else existed. And then I didn't start my first metal band till after high school, a band called Absolution, which played this is kind of cool. Like during, I don't know if you're familiar with this, during the 2000s, like there was kind of the new wave of thrash metal, and with bands like Warbringer, Ex Mortis, Fueled by
Warlock,
Fire.
Warlock was in that same genre.
I believe so. I
Yeah,
believe so. I don't know if we ever played with them. Havoc, for example, Vector. Um, a lot of these bands ended up getting signed, and not all of them did, but a lot of them did. But like, you know, Warbringer is probably the biggest one. Ex Mortis too. Um, but we
Exciter,
what?
remember that band?
I do, but I don't know if they were at this scene. But anyways, this was a bunch of merciless death. This was a bunch of
Yeah.
like, you know, young kids that were just, you know, eat, breathe, and sleep thrash metal, and that scene still exists today. And yeah, like this again in the 2000s, metal was becoming kind of popular again. It really like the metalcore stuff, and then the emo stuff was
Right.
popular. But just this was a group that just thrash. If you weren't, I mean, it reminds me like of like Exodus and stuff. Like it was so intense,
Oh yeah.
and it was cool to just play with those guys and watch some of them kind of come up. And now that I'm back playing music again with Kings of Thrash, I have people that I haven't seen in like, you know, 15 years hitting me up, being like, "Oh, Chaz, I remember you. Da, da, da. What are you up to?" I'm like, so it's cool. It's just cool. It shows you like it shows you the family aspect of metal, and that, you know, yeah, there's a stereotype and everything. We are kind of crazy, let's be honest, but like, you know, there's a lot of love in that scene, and a lot of connectivity too. That's really really cool. So
Yeah, and you know, metal, it's a family.
yes, yeah,
Uh I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we'll talk about this when we go to the Australian segment, but um it's all over the world, and I was like blown away when I went to Sydney. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But
sure.
um yeah, I mean, the scene in the 2000s, so that was your first band. So what other bands were you in um besides those? A lot,
Well,
I bet.
yeah, no, I'll tell you. So the Absolution was kind of my, you know, my passion project with my singer Dave, who may be watching this. Hi, Dave.
Hi,
Uh,
Dave.
yeah, Dave's awesome. I don't think you met him, but Dave is a great guy. So Dave, you know, Dave and I met, and we wrote a lot of the songs for Absolution, and it was, I mean, it's so funny. On the that first night of the VIP tour, um, or the VIP meet and greets of that Joliet show, somebody brought me an Absolution album. I was like, whoa. I
What?
dusted it off. I was like, where did you find this, buddy?
Oh my god.
He brought that. That made me feel really, really cool. And every once in a while, I'll get some fans that are, you know, oh my God, you know, you know, this is cool, you know. But it was like Testament, Megadeth, In Flames, Dark Tranquility. Those were probably our primary influences. But yeah, I did that for about 4 years, doing the independent band thing, which is just very very difficult. Always has been, still is to this day. We did some really cool shows. We opened up for Overkill. We opened up for Metal Church. We opened up for Nevermore. We did many shows with Ex Mortis. Warbringer. All of the shows were a lot of fun. I mean, every time you played like metal, just the kids were just awesome. And we did our own album. You know, we kind of had it distributed, but you know, it just kind of fizzled out. You know, it's just 4 years, and we went for it, and it just didn't really happen. So we just kind of went our separate ways. And this is kind of interesting. I had kind of hung up my spurs. You know, I went back to school. You know, I went to law school. So I was done, man. I was done for a while. And I thought that it was like a cool kind of chapter in my life, and I always loved it. I always loved metal, and I would always go up to like, be driving up to the courthouse, like blasting freaking Slayer, and people were like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Who's this guy?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're my lawyer? Fuck." No. But
I'm getting off today.
Something like that, or I don't know. Can I get another one? No, I don't know, but like, no. So I started to get back into playing music, and I'll put a book in on this. But I started a Metallica tribute band because I finished law school and I was working.
Right.
This is around 2017, 2018. Not happy. Not a fan of. I mean, I did that to make money. Period.
Well, of course, and that's Wake Up the Dead, right?
Well, no. So this is before Woke Up Dead. I started a Metallica tribute band called Anesthesia, who out of San Diego, and our goal when I started that band, I was just like, dude, I just need to play. I just need to have fun, because I had gotten so caught up. I mean, just without getting it just I'd gotten sucked in. I had gotten completely sucked in and consumed by that legal lifestyle and culture.
I know what you're talking about.
I was miserable. I was very, very unhappy. So I just was like, I can't do this. I have to do something to get myself out of this funk. And I was just like, I gotta play music. And I was like, one of my all-time favorite bands, Metallica. I'm gonna do a Metallica tribute. I don't care what happens. I'm not doing this for crowds. I'm not doing this for anything other than I just need an outlet, and I need to play something fast and heavy. And we started that. We had a lot of fun. Somehow it picked up steam. That was my first turn at lead vocals, and I got thrown into that because we couldn't find a singer. And then that kind of snowballed into Woke Up Dead and Black Days, and then now Kings of Thrash, and now I'm back playing more music than I think I ever have, and it's awesome. I'm really happy with how that's come back into my life.
Yeah, so. I mean, you are crazy busy.
I am.
I mean, you not only have Woke Up Dead,
yeah,
you've got Black Days, you got the Kings of Thrash. You're going on a tour with. Are you going on a tour with Black Days, right?
Yes, we are.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, okay. So Black Days is a Soundgarden tribute. That, just to give a little background, Nikki Lane Taylor is the drummer. She's frequently an alternate for the Iron Maidens. So she's been all over the world and toured, and basically it's her idea. It's just kind of song. It's just like, anybody ever tell you look like Chris Cornell? I'm like, and I get that all the time. I get on my good days. I get that.
Right, of course.
But I was like, actually, yes. She's like, okay, well, she's like, you're gonna be my Cornell, and I was like, fuck. But we started it during the beginning of the pandemic, so which was just insane. So we had all kinds of. That's a whole nother thing, and that was kind of like our thing to do. Well, the whole world was shut down and going crazy, and all kinds of things were happening. We were just like, this is our little project to work on. We brought in Greg Coates. He used to play bass for a band called the Bangkok Five. Greg is one of the finest bass players and finest musicians I've ever played with. Total pro. And he helped us out a lot. Huge Soundgarden fan. They really helped me, work on the vocals, because I did not have a lot of experience. I really didn't. So for me to try and sing Chris Cornell was really lunacy. It was insane. It was a fucking long shot. I was like, what the hell are we doing? But it was a lot of time to practice. They believed in me. They had faith. And most importantly, we focused on just having fun with it. It's like, there's no pressure here. No one's
Right.
expecting to be Chris. No one can be Chris. It's just, it's just have fun, show respect, and get out there, and we'll get out there when we're ready. And that happened. It worked. We brought in Dennis D'Angelo. Dennis is a guitar player from Brazil, graduate of the Berklee College of Music. Just a fantastic guitar player, really good guitar player, great musician too, good singer too. And Dennis came in and kind of rounded us out, and we launched it. And obviously we're doing something right because people are booking us, and
yeah, you're
people
going
like
to
the
New
show,
York,
they like the performance.
right? You're going to New York.
Yeah, so yeah, the tour that we're doing tours with it's a kind of a tribute to grunge package. There's going to be a Pearl Jam tribute, Alice in Chains tribute, and we're working with minor league baseball. So we're doing 4 dates. We're going to go up to New York, we're going to go to Kansas, Georgia, and Virginia, and then each show it's going to be like a minor league baseball game where we're gonna kind of warm the crowd up, and it's a stadium tour, so it should be bad.
That's crazy. That's awesome though, Chaz. That's really great.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool part about doing tribute bands, is that's kind of what you want to do. You want to get on these festivals and these gigs like that, and casinos and stuff, because it's a fun thing, and you want to tribute the artist that you're tributing. But it's like, hey, these legendary bands such as Soundgarden, such as Megadeth, Metallica,
right?
There's many of these bands that you can't see anymore, or they're kind of in a different state now. And it's, that the tribute bands, maybe 10, 15 years ago, people would laugh about it. But now it's like, dude, everyone's doing it, man. Fucking Belladonna from Anthrax is a killer Journey tribute. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's getting out of, but you know what? It's getting out of control a little bit. I mean, Vegas is blowing up with tribute bands. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I love a good tribute band, okay? There's a difference between a tribute band and a cover band.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay?
But some people don't realize the difference. So anyway, because I had a long debate with another band a few weeks ago, but tribute bands are going to bring in the dollars. They're going to bring in the crowds, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And like I said, Vegas is really a hub right now. Your band needs to get out here. I mean,
we're trying.
I've been working a few angles, so.
We almost did. We almost did. We were close.
But, hopefully next year we can come up with some type of package deal of some sort. So we'll figure that out.
Definitely. And Black Days is still a relatively new band. We launched it, immediately after the pandemic, and it's, everyone has got multiple projects. I'm doing Kings of Thrash. I'm still doing Woke Up Dead too. So, but yeah, it's really, started to kind of sort of grow legs, and I'm always intimidated by doing that. That's the most nervous I get, for any of the bands that I'm in, is doing that Soundgarden stuff, because that's just, goddamn, sometimes you're rolling the dice vocally, and it's just, but people seem to like it, and what we try to do is we try to recreate the experience, we dress up, and not dress up, but I mean, what's the costumes for that? It's grunge, it's flannel, black shorts, and combat.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's pretty much it.
Which is very natural, anyways. I mean, that's
right.
That's not all that much different than probably what we would wear normally. But it's to try to create an era and a look, and we really work on the tones and everything, and just of course we put our own. We don't copy it.
You spin it.
Yeah, it's like, we put our own thing, but yeah, we're definitely trying to recreate that experience of like an early 90s Soundgarden show. Although we play the whole catalog, it's like, that's my personal favorite era of the band, when they were just, a force to be reckoned with. And everyone was like, whoa, this band's awesome. So
now you're also playing the Canyon Club in 2 weeks, is that right?
1 week. So next week.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll be at the Canyon Club, which is a great venue in Montclair. We're playing with a Rage Against the Machine tribute. You guys, uh, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. You can look it up. Black Days, ways to get tickets. But that's a great venue. That's going to be a great show too for folks that can come
Yeah.
out.
Canyon
That's
Club is
that's super
great.
nice.
It's like legendary.
Yeah, it's a
And
nice venue too. You can kind of hang out there. So
yeah, which is really super cool. But Chaz, like what are you, I mean, we know that grunge was a big influence for you, but like what was like one of the first concerts you ever saw?
So the very first concert I ever saw was Summerfest 1994. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers when they had Dave Navarro in the band, and the hell was that? I think it was One Hot Minute was the album, and that was cool. That was the first time where I was like, oh wow, it's a fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then so there was that was a big one. I saw a really cool one of the early concerts I saw Dream Theater at the House of Blues in Hollywood, and it was a very memorable gig because Bruce Dickinson was a special guest, and he came out, and the Dream Theater played a super long set, like 2.5 hours, and during the middle of the set, Bruce Dickinson came out and did like 3 Iron Maiden songs. So that was really
Oh,
cool. Just
wow.
very memorable like experience of Dream Theater and Iron Maiden. Just made an impression on me. So it
That's crazy. See, that's
was
good.
awesome.
I've seen Dream Theater before. In the beginning when they first kind of, I mean, they have so many albums out. It's like
Yeah,
ridiculous now.
I prefer early Dream Theater. When there was a little more focus on the songwriting. That I thought at their best. Well, their musicianship is insane. Like they're incredible. Like John Petrucci is one of the.
Oh my God, he's like ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know how people can hate on John Petrucci. Like I just don't. Like he's just awesome. Like he's because yes, he does shred and sometimes he goes crazy with it, but he can play with feel. He can bring it back. There's nothing that guy can't do. And I just think he's awesome. Like his technique is just about as flawless as I've ever seen. His tone is always spot on. But I preferred kind of the earlier version of Dream Theater when they were sort of like a mix of Rush, Queensryche, and Metallica, and then they kind of
Yeah,
did their own
that's
thing.
kind of what my era was with Dream Theater. You know, they had that
Images
very
and
unique
Words,
sound.
yeah, Images and Words, Awake. That's one of my favorite albums ever. Just yeah, I love '90s Dream Theater. I mean, I like later stuff too, but that's my favorite era of the band.
Right. Now, I mean, if people don't know how you guys came together as Kings of Thrash, let's just do a little synopsis because I know you guys met at Whiskey for a jam night. So tell the viewers a little bit about how that happened.
Sure, sure. So, yeah, well, so Jeff and David had been in contact, I think, in early 2022 about doing some work on, I think, a Nick Menza documentary. And I think that's how they kind of reconnected. And then they just kind of got caught up. I mean, they're, Jeff and David. I don't know how much contact they had after Jeff left the band, but obviously it was friendly because they reconnected, and yeah, I think for a long time, I think David, Ellefson, people can look this up, but he always wanted to do those old Megadeth records, the early Megadeth records, because like a common criticism of Megadeth, I'm a huge Megadeth fan. I've seen them many times. I saw them on the recent tours too. I think they're great live every time. I'm always a fan of the guitar players. Like I think Kiko, fucking killer guitar player. Very nice guy too. I met him. Awesome dude. Um, but so yeah, I'm a big fan of Megadeth and what they're doing. But the criticism is they kind of play a lot of the same songs. Uh, um, you know, which they're always plugging the new stuff, so I understand that. you know, but they don't really play that early that 80s catalog that just so many fans are just rabid about. And Ellefson had always wanted to do that. So I think when he and Jeff reconnected, they just kind of wanted to see how it went. So the May show at the Whiskey a Go Go was a jam night, ultimate jam. Happens every month or so, or every couple of weeks, where the folks at the Whiskey a Go Go will put together a tribute night to various artists. You know, U2, Randy Rhoads, Van Halen, Women in Rock, whatever it is. And this night was the tribute to the Big Four, and they had called David, and they called Jeff, and I see that they're playing, and I kind of knew the Ultimate Jam folks from my Soundgarden tribute, and I was like, oh, tribute to the Big Four, huh? I was like, Dave Ellefson's playing, cool. Jeff Young's playing, cool. I know they're gonna do Megadeth. I'm like, I wonder who's gonna sing for that. Because I had Woke Up Dead, the Megadeth tribute that is gotten a lot of good reviews, and I messaged the one of the organizers of the event, Jessica Chase.
Yes.
Yeah, I messaged her, and I was like, hey, who you got singing for this thing? She's like, oh yeah, we were gonna message you. I was like, sweet, you know, of course I'd be down, you know, and then Jeff, you know, the next day Jeff messaged me on Facebook. We started chatting, and then just kind of chatting about what we were going to do and playing Megadeth songs. And it had been a while since Jeff had looked at that material. We did Mary Jane, In My Darkest Hour, and I think Peace Sells. And we're just like, hey, you know, it's just a jam. You know, I think Jeff and I did just a Skype chat just to kind of get to know each other and show a couple of hand positions. The night of the show, we kind of ran through the songs unplugged backstage, went out there, it's a jam. Let's see what happens, you know, and it went out, it turned out well, you know, and the fans dug it. The reaction was great. Dave Ellefson must have liked what he heard, because he, you know, just kind of said, hey, dude, great job. We got off stage. He's like, that was awesome. He's like, to be continued. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that means. And then later in the night, he's like, okay, so I've had this idea for a while. Learn all of Killing Is My Business and all of So Far So Good So What, and we'll talk. And that was going back to when he was in Megadeth, and he had wanted to get the band to do those albums, you know, as Megadeth, but just, you know, they didn't line up. So now, and that was the birth of Kings of Thrash, you know, and Jeff jumped on it, and Jeff really just did an awesome job breaking down the songs, and that's kind of when we really started rehearsing. We brought Fred in, you know, we brought in David's management. We're like, hey, we got this idea to do all of So Far So Good So What, all of Killing Is My Business. Let's just really have fun with it and just see what happens. And we brought in Chris Poland as a special guest, and really started working on it. And now you're here. Now here we are, you know, traveling and trying to take the show to as many places as we can. And it's great.
It's crazy. Fantastic. It's crazy how 4 shows made such an impact quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like, oh, you guys just did them and people are just catching on. I mean, this was 4 shows quickly.
Yeah.
Everybody was on board. I mean,
yeah, it was cool.
Crazy. You know, Chicago was great. Like all the cities that you guys played, Charleston, you guys played Georgia, you guys played the biggest cities, but you know, your tour was unusual as well, because you had a couple cancellations due to, what was there, a fire? And then there was a snowstorm or something, or
there was the Buffalo one was crazy because there was a really big fire, probably about maybe 4 buildings down from where we were supposed to play. Something happened at an old costume shop, and went up in flames, and it was like one of the worst fires that Buffalo had seen. Firefighter tragically.
You know, Jeff had he was actually filming it, and he was like showing it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, we went to Niagara Falls that day just to be tourists. And we all met up for breakfast that morning, and we saw the start of it. We saw the smoke, and we're like, oh, okay, that doesn't look that bad. We go out for the afternoon, we come back, and it turned into just this horrible thing, and we had to cancel the show. And then the next night was the storm in upstate New York. I mean, it was a storm, but
you guys, David bought pizza for everybody. I remember that.
Yeah, we had our VIPs, and we, it was not our choice to cancel the show.
No, yeah.
It just happens, and it was just like, hey, we knew there was going to be some disappointed folks. So at the impromptu thing, we tracked down a pizza spot and just had pizza and drinks, and
why not, man?
People. It was cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's super cool. But now let's get to Australia. Now, I knew how this happened because Jeff and he was just moving out here. And he's like, I got news for you, babe. I'm like, okay, what's the I don't know if I want to tell you right now. I'm like, I'm driving the car. I'm like, Jeff, I'm going to pull over right now. What's going on? He's like, we're going to Australia, babe. I'm like, what? He said, I'm there, man.
Oh.
He couldn't believe it he goes, you're going to go? I'm like,
yeah.
I was so excited. Like that next day, like I told my boss, I said, here's the dates. I said, I'm not going to be here. I mean, right away. And it was like 3 months, before all this was going to go on. And oh my God, because I took Jeff for his passport. Oh my God, that in itself was a trip. But anyway, so Australia. So how excited were you, Chaz, when you heard the news that you guys were going down under?
I was over the moon, and that was, that was kind of that, that's a big plan for Kings of Thrash too, for people that are watching, because we know that we get a lot of messages from people all over the world, and that's the plan, is to take this thing. We're still, we're just doing, as things got to line up, but that's the plan. We did Australia. It was a huge success. So, and I was thrilled, but yeah, we want to take this all over the world. We want to get to Japan. We want to get to New Zealand. We want to get to Europe. We want to get to South America. So there's plenty of other parts of the States. So there's plenty of places for us to go. We just got to line it up,
But Australia was great because you guys went to Brisbane, you went to Melbourne, you went to Sydney. Now, am I missing one?
Canberra. Yeah, Canberra.
Yeah, Canberra.
Yeah, I was stoked. I was like, shit, I've never been to Australia, so I was like, hell yeah, So we we just made it happen. We hooked up with a fantastic media company called Hardline Media. Doug and Annabelle, just amazing.
They're awesome. I met them at the Sydney show.
They're just wonderful people. And that's kind of what they do. Australia is off the beaten path. It's difficult for bands to get there, but they do. There's various, there's a whole story out there on the internet land as to why back in '88 or '89 Megadeth canceled their Australia run when Jeff was in the band. But it's like, hey, we're gonna get back down there and do the songs that people way back then wanted to hear. And yeah, they were man, from day one, as soon as we got there, they were just so receptive.
Yeah, because you guys were out there like 4 days before I got there, because I got there like on a because we'll get to that in a second. You you guys were playing Cambria, you guys were playing Melbourne, you were, and then Sydney was your last stop.
Yep.
So how was the flight with you and Jeff getting there?
So yeah, Jeff and I flew out a few days before, which was a great idea because we kind of knew that we were going to be jet lagged and everything, and that was my first like really long. That's actually my first overseas flight.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and that was 14 and a half hours. That was a long flight. and that was a dead eye flight. Jeff and I had different seats, so he was he was stuck with this family that was like arguing the whole time, just driving him insane.
Oh,
And then I had pretty good seatmates. But you know, it's my first flight. I did not sleep a wink on the way out there, and it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. I was like, wow, this is a long flight. Um, but we got there, we arrived much better on the way back because I knew what to expect.
yeah.
But it's just a long flight, and got into Australia. Was obviously really excited, you know, being in a different country and in a different part of the world. Australia was culturally very similar to the United States, so it was like an easy transition.
Yeah.
But yeah, we pulled into Sydney, got there a few days. I went sightseeing. You know, Jeff kind of hung out and you know was playing guitar, just resting, and we would meet up in the evenings and hang out and get dinner and stuff. Then Dave Ellefson came in, and then Fred came in, and yeah, then we were off and running.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney is such a mecca for metal. I was like,
It was cool.
I was shocked. Like, I completely. And it's so cultural there. It totally reminded me of Chicago.
Yes,
I was walking around on the brick lined streets.
totally.
I mean, I couldn't believe it.
So my thought of how I would describe Sydney is if Chicago, San Diego, and London all had a baby, it would be Sydney, Australia.
Yes.
Like it had that sort of, you know, it had that old English like cultural feel. Like, you know, there's some old ass buildings there, and it's, you know,
Oh my God.
yeah.
And every old building has a pub in it.
Well, fucking Australians, man, they know how to party, dude.
I mean, 24/7 it seemed like there, but
But
yeah,
it was cool.
yeah,
Was
it
cool.
was super
Had
cool.
very laid back vibe of like, you know, like I said, it reminded me of San Diego. It's right on the water, big
Yeah.
bay there. Great beaches. I didn't get to go out to the beaches.
Yeah, I didn't either this time.
But yeah, and then the yeah, ton of skyscrapers and high rises. So it had that, you know, Chicago feel too, of just very like urban, but it was awesome, man. Sydney was so cool.
Did you know, Chaz, there was a Masonic museum there?
Oh yeah. We so is it a museum? Because we went by, you know, we don't, you know, we have, you know, Mason stuff here,
Right.
but it's not as just out in the open. Whereas like out there, it was like, whoa, like it was a huge, like, just like a huge building. So was it a
Yeah.
museum? Is that what it was? Where
I'm pretty sure there's a museum in there, but I didn't get a chance to go in there. I wanted to, but it just the structure itself, I mean, it was incredible the way
it
that
was a
building
trip. It was a trip. We walked by it and we were like, whoa, like it was just right there, and it was a big structure, and it was crazy, you know, but it was interesting to see that for sure. So
Yeah, but one of my favorite stops was the same stop that you guys did with Utopia Records.
ah,
Oh my God, those guys rock, man.
Utopia
Let
was
me tell
great.
you, I went down there, and I actually was gonna meet. I was meeting Simple Stone there. This is a band from Australia that follows me, and I'm a huge fan. And we were gonna set up an interview. So I'm in the store. I'm, you know, walking around checking. They have a lot of rock T-shirts there. I bought a few shirts when I was there, but the guys were nice enough to let me log on to their Wi-Fi because I wasn't getting any, like, you know, signals or whatever. But so I logged on to that. So I'm walking around, and then I met the lead singer from Tembrist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she is awesome. I just interviewed her.
Nice.
They're on their way to the UK
Cool.
and Belgium, and their band is killer. So I got to meet her and set some stuff. She was at the show too. I was hanging out with her, and then Sarah Moulton as well.
Sarah.
Sarah's a great follower, man. She follows.
Homie, what up, Sarah? I know you're watching.
Oh, Sarah, wait till she sees this. We
What?
love you, Sarah.
You still owe me a beer, by the way. I'm
He
just kidding.
is great, man.
He's
He
awesome.
hung out with me like the whole night until I got up to the front, and I was in. I called. Yeah, I was in the pit there.
Oh, it was so crowded.
Oh
And
my God. I was taking pictures, Chaz, and video, and then all of a sudden, a mosher fell on me.
I remember that. I remember that. Oh
Oh
God.
my God. I'm like, I'm doing something with my camera or whatever. And I felt like a 300-pound guy roll over my head.
Yeah.
And you're looking at me, and then Jeff's looking at me like, are you alive?
No, I saw that. I was like, what the hell? Like, they just went crazy. I mean, that's what happens when we play.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I figured I was in front of the stage with the barricade. I figured, okay, I'm cool.
You had a good spot.
I did. I was with the other photographer that David knows.
Yep.
So we're kind of like hanging out and stuff. And he went out to the back to take some pictures, you know, from far away for the stage. And that's when it happened.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but that show was so memorable. That club is amazing. The Crowbar.
The Crowbar was awesome.
Oh my God.
I think we liked. I liked all 4 shows. They're all awesome. The night before we played Max Watts in Melbourne, which was just packed to the gills. That may have been. I believe we sold out the last 2 shows. There was no way you could pack another body into the Crowbar, so that had to be a sell.
No.
I mean, I felt so bad. Like, I saw people trying to mosh, but it was so tight in there. Everyone was just like,
yeah,
so,
it was impossible.
Yeah. So that was clearly a sellout. I'm pretty sure Max Watts was too. That was a much bigger place, but it was packed to the gills. Great crowd, great sound. And then the night before that, we did the Zoo in Brisbane, also packed. They were all packed. That was packed. What did we play? We played the Basement in Canberra, which was full as well, and they were super grateful there because they're like, oh, no one ever comes through Canberra, so they were super happy that we got to do that. And it was just, every night it was just awesome. Each show just got better and better, and they were all great. They were all great.
I mean, it was such a great experience seeing you guys in Sydney. It was like incredible, but I just want to take a step back and tell people exactly what happened to me. Okay, so originally I was supposed to be out there on Wednesday. Okay, your show was Saturday the 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was supposed to be on there Wednesday. Well, I'm on the tarmac in Las Vegas in the plane.
Okay.
They're getting ready to take off. Then the pilot comes on. We have a mechanical issue. We'll be pulling back to the gate. I'm like, OMG, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So we had to deboard the plane. 2 hours it took them to get another plane to take us to LA. So by that point, I completely missed my connection to Sydney.
Oh.
So United puts me in a hotel at LAX, and I fly out the next day.
They pay for everything.
Right. But
Okay.
instead of going on Qantas, because I missed my Qantas flight, that I paid a lot of money for, they put me on an Air Canada flight to Vancouver.
So you had to go all the way up from LA to Vancouver. Oh.
That was the only way I was making it.
That's like another 3 hours, right? Probably. Yeah.
So anyway, so I went to Vancouver. I had to get off the plane, and I had to make my connection from Vancouver to Sydney. I just made it within 20 minutes.
That's not good for the stress level.
Oh my God. So anyway, I'm running. So I made it. I got on the plane, sat next to 2 girls, 2 awesome chicks. They were great. So I get to Sydney. I go, where's my luggage? I had to go to the luggage finder's place.
Yeah. Oh,
They go, "Oh, your luggage is in LA."
oh.
I go, "What?" They go, "Yes, your luggage never made it on the plane." I go, "Oh, that's great." So I had,
I remember you texted us that. That was, I think we
yeah,
were getting underway, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here, but I
right.
don't have any luggage."
So I had a pair of the camo pants that I wore to your show was
Yeah.
in my carry-on.
Oh,
I had a black hoodie on, and I got two shirts from Utopia Records, and I had one shirt that I wore on the plane.
oh,
That's all I had with me.
that's terrible. That's
So
madness.
anyway, so every morning I'm calling them, "Where's my luggage? We put it on a plane. It should be there tomorrow." It didn't arrive till Sunday,
Oh
and
no.
I was leaving on Monday.
So it's like, oh, can you imagine that? Can you imagine if, see, it could have been worse. You could have already left Australia and your luggage would have been there. And take another week to get back to the States.
Right. So anyway,
That's so crazy though. That's crazy.
so it gets delivered to my hotel. I have my luggage to go back home.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I opened it to use two things in it and closed it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, it was crazy. I had no makeup with me. I had to buy makeup. I had to go to a hair salon and get my hair straightened. I mean, this
Yeah.
might not be big time for you guys, but let me tell you, if
Oh,
you
I get
got
it.
nothing, yeah,
No, I've been there. No, I've been there. I've had, that's one of the worst feelings. I always get like anxious when I come out of a flight, and I try to carry on as much as possible, but it's just like you're just waiting for your bag, and I've had that happen to me where it's like, dude, where's my bag? Where's my bag? And
but
it's just,
anyway, I
yeah,
had an amazing time. It was the best experience. I cannot wait to go back and hopefully see you guys again next year. Hopefully, you might go back.
yeah. Well, Carol, that's why you're a badass, and we didn't really get to hang, and then by the time we were
I
all done,
know. That's
I hit you up, and I'm like, okay, fine. It was at the end of the show. I'm like, oh, okay, come on upstairs. We're finally like slowing down and hanging out.
yeah. I
You're
just
like, you're like,
I
I had to call it quits. They're like, oh, okay, well, we'll get caught
yeah,
up.
I after that guy fell on me and I'm like I was kind of still like in shock a little bit. And I'm like I kind of just wanted to go back to my hotel room and chill out a little bit.
Blame you.
I wanted to come upstairs and hang out with you guys, but yeah, it was just such a great experience, Australia. I mean, I got to go to the aquarium there. They have an
Yeah,
amazing aquarium in Darling Harbor. I had some amazing lobster that I will never forget.
they have really good food. Jeff and I kind of came to the conclusion that Australians have very high quality food. Like
They
on
do.
like all of the places that we went to eat, we just noticed that, it's, obviously the similar caliber to similar shit that we have here in the States, but like everything was just better quality. And
Yeah,
you've got good food here in America, but you got to pay for it. There's a lot of crap that we have, so
yeah,
that was something that we noticed. We're like, wow, the quality of the food here just seems a little bit better. So if you've been to Australia
right.
and if you have a comment on that about the quality of the food compared to the United States, I'd be
Yeah,
interested to hear your opinion, because we
yeah,
thought,
please tell us because yeah, it was something else, but there's so many good things going to be happening with this band. I know you guys have a couple shows lined up in November, uh,
December.
December
Yeah.
in Santa Ana, and then the other one is in
Back at the whiskey.
yeah, the whiskey.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's a great way to end the year, Chaz. Uh this band is amazing. I'm a lifelong Kings of Thrash man fan. I mean,
Thank you.
you guys are stuck with me.
Well, we're happy to be stuck with you, and no, yeah, we've got more stuff. Like I said, we're just kind of taking it, as things come, as things
Right.
evolve. It's just like, hey, we're flexible with wherever things go, wherever the demand is. we'll be there. And then, other people have other projects. Like, you're going to be in Phoenix
next week.
Are you just going to the Phoenix show, or are you going to all 3 shows?
No, I can't go to all 3 shows. So I'm going to Phoenix. I'm going to be there on Wednesday. I'm going to hang out, and then they'll get there on Thursday. And then I'm going to be interviewing the Pantera tribute band, the all girls.
Oh, Barbie on Hostile.
Yes.
Cool. Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to hook up with them. I know Scott Decker from 10 Cent Revenge.
Okay.
I actually got him on that bill.
Cool.
So I'm gonna talk to him. I'll hang out with Fred and Holly and Jeff. Yeah, going to Utah is like, because I got to get back to work, So I could have saw both shows in Utah, but I'm gonna have to pass on those this time. But
no, I was gonna be on that tour with Black Dave, but it just didn't work out. I couldn't. I have a great job. It's very, very flexible with a lot of things, but this one just didn't line up.
Yeah,
we were gonna do because we're gonna have 3 out of 4.
Right.
It was supposed to be 3 out of 4 Kings of Thrash members.
Yeah.
And a possible surprise in Phoenix.
Yeah, there is a surprise in Phoenix, so.
But I could not. Sadly, I couldn't be a part of it. But it's still awesome. Dead Groove is great. I love what they're doing. Fred and Holly are awesome. Jeff Young is playing guitar on this tour.
Yeah, I mean, such a great band. I love Fred and Holly and Jeff are amazing in this band together. I saw them at Brick by Brick.
Yep.
In San Diego. That was a great show. Really great show with LA Guns.
Yeah, I missed that one, but
yeah,
that's a great tour. So like I said, unfortunately I won't be a part of that one, but I mean, but we'll see what happens. I got other stuff I'm working on too.
Yeah,
various projects, maybe some other musical ideas that I'm working on for 2024. Other projects too, doing all kinds of creative stuff that I'm thinking of, and that's really kind of what I'm using this sort of time to do is like, hey, I for a long time I didn't do anything creative musically at all, and I like I said, I had no idea I was going to be back doing this, and shit, never thought I'd get the Kings of Thrash opportunity, and so I'm kind of like, hey, I've got a lot of energy and a lot of desire to do all kinds of things and just have fun with it and whatever.
And Chaz, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Now, did you bring your guitars?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna close out the show because I know a lot of my viewers were asking me, hey, when you see Chaz again, ask him what his gear is. So let's talk about it.
Okay. So let me start with this guy. So, for Kings of Thrash, my primary weapon of choice is this, which is a Jackson King V2 Pro model. Seymour Duncan pickups, Floyd Rose bridge, which, is a love-hate thing for anybody that has ever played Floyd Roses. But, yeah, it's great. I mean, this thing is, I got it, a couple years ago for Woke Up Dead, which is my Megadeth tribute. And I took this thing on tour, and it's reliable, it stays in tune, and it's fun to play. And, and if anybody ever gets on stage and gets a little too crazy, I can just, perfect spear.
That's great. Now, what about the white one, Chaz? Do you have the white one?
I do have it. Let me grab it. It's in a case, but I'll get it. Let me grab it. Give me a second here. So this guy, this is also a King V2. Except it's white, and it has EMG pickups. It does not have a Floyd Rose bridge, and it only has 22 frets. This is actually David Ellison's guitar. Jackson sent him, and I have it on loan for Kings of Thrash, and then I'll play this for how we've been doing the show so far is because we've been doing the 2 albums. I'll play this for So Far So Good So What, which we opened the show with, and then because I just to switch it up, it looks cool, and then I switch it up for the black one for the second set, which is Killing Is My Business and whatever else we decide to throw in. And then I kind of need 24 frets for some of the stuff I play on Killing Is My Business. So yeah, that's how I switched to the other one. But yeah, those are the 2 primary axes for Kings of Thrash.
Now, what about your stack? What do you what's your stack look like as far as like what you?
Yeah, so on tour, so I have a very, very simple rig, just out of practicality purposes. I just use a Hughes and Kettner Grandmeister 40, which is a 40-watt tube power amp. It also has a digital interface, so which is great because it's really the best of both worlds. It's a tube amp, but I also I don't like to carry a lot of pedals. I don't like to carry a lot of gear. I got enough shit to do with playing guitar and singing and trying to memorize all these lyrics. So I just try to make my life easier, and I can program whatever effects that I want. There's a wide range of effects, and I program them into the floorboard, and that I just take that with me on tour. It's very durable, it's very reliable, it's easy to travel with, and it packs a punch. So
yeah, it sure does, Chaz.
Yeah,
I love it when you switch the guitars on me.
Yeah. And then like Jeff, I'm in there in between Jeff and David, and they both have monster rigs, so I need something that kind of supports what they do. Jeff plays almost all of the lead guitar. I do play a few solos, but a lot of it is Jeff just doing his thing. And if you see Kings of Thrash, you see why. Jeff is just an awesome guitar player. And you just let him go, man. Just let Jeff rip. He'll play. He plays his solos note for note.
Right.
He's pretty close to note for note on Dave's stuff and Chris Poland's stuff, and he's certainly capable of playing it note for note. But I mean, he's the kind of player that if he wants to riff and just rip something out when he's feeling it, you just let him rip, dude. He's an awesome guitar player, and it's awesome to share the stage with him, and it's fun. I love playing with Jeff. He's so animated live.
I know he is, but I love it.
Me too. It feeds me. Like it gets me fired up because I see how fired up Jeff gets, and then I get fired up.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
But hey, let's talk about the DVD, the live DVD.
Sure.
For people who have not maybe purchased it yet, it's on Cleopatra Records. It's a live DVD right from the.
Let me grab it. Yeah, let me grab it.
Okay.
Little shameless promotion here.
Yeah, a little shameless plug.
That's right.
For my favorite band, one of my favorite bands.
And then you have a part in this as well, Carol, because
I do.
So here's 2 copies. This is the CD, double CD DVD copy, and then here is the LP, and this was designed. Everything was designed by Fred, our drummer. Look at those pictures right there, and then somebody took this photo of all of us, and it kind of making us look pretty good. So
yeah, I wonder who took the picture of you, Chaz.
That's right. So somebody has an eye. So you make me look good.
Hey, what can I say? It was the right moment. That picture, let me tell you, is amazing. I'm going to actually blow it up and put it in my office.
Cool.
It is like one of the most intricate pictures that I think I've taken of somebody live playing guitar, and especially Jeff as well.
Yeah.
The picture next to yours that I took.
Yeah, Jeff's ripping it up on the.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Taylor T. Carlson because he took the picture of David Ellefson and Chris Poland.
Yeah.
So his photographs are on there too, but it was, like I said, that was a magical night, man. Magical night that I came to that show, wasn't supposed to be there, but for some reason I was there, and the rest is history.
Yeah, pretty epic. And yeah, this is our double live album. Actually, I have a question here. I should probably post this more because I have a lot of people that have hit me up about streaming for the, because we have CDs and we have a DVD, and many people do not have a device known as a DVD player. They're like, "What the hell is that? DVD? Jesus Christ, Chaz! You fucking, now what are you gonna ride to practice on a horse? Or are you gonna take a steam locomotive or something?" So, so for those people that are interested, you can actually download the an HD copy of our concert through YouTube, and I did that. I think it's like $12.99, but it's basically the DVD. It doesn't have the menus, but it has the full concert. So if you don't have a DVD player, just go to YouTube, type in Kings of Thrash, Best of the West, or Live at the Whiskey a Go Go. You'll see the option to download it, and you've got an HD, the concert, which was just, yeah, it was awesome.
That was such an amazing show. I'm sorry I couldn't make that one, but from what I saw of that show, incredible. That was definitely life-changing for the band.
It was, and we started this thing. People on the internet, like this is so funny too, watching the headlines. And look, we're always grateful for people that cover us. Whatever you say, good or bad. As long as it's got a link to the
right,
whatever the tour or the album, that's cool. They're doing a job. Media, we all know they're just trying to get links and clicks.
Yeah.
But like, everybody, there's all kinds of stuff. When we started Kings of Thrash, we're just like, hey, let's just see what happens. Like, we're just gonna do the first 4 shows, and we'll just kind of take it as it comes. And that's we're still doing that. It's still evolving, going into different areas and doing different things. And that's cool. And we all have fun playing songs together, and we're changing up the set list. We'll add in other songs from other artists, and who knows what we'll do, but we like
more to come. More to come.
We play together great live, and it's a lot of fun, and we get along, and that's really what it is. And whatever the internet is, it's like, dude, we're here to have fun and just come to the show and have a good time. And that's all it is.
Chaz, thank you so much for coming on. I want to thank David Ellefson, Jeff Young, and Mr. Fred Aching. I'll see him next week, for allowing me to cover you guys this year. And I can't wait for the next show. And it's going to be an incredible 23 and 24 for you guys.
No, thank you, Carol. And again, thank you for all you've done for us. And I'm so glad that we finally were able to do this. And
I know. And, we've got a couple projects that we're working on.
We might be.
We can get those into fruition, hopefully in 24.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens between the two of us being as busy as we are.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, Chaz. We'll talk soon. And it was great talking to you finally.
Yeah. Yep. Rock on, Carol, and everybody. Thank you for watching, and everybody that supports Kings of Thrash. Thank you so much. Thanks, David, Jeff, Chris, management, Fred, everybody. And everybody that has been supportive and come out to the shows and just been really cool.
Why don't you tell them the website, Chaz?
I think it's kingsofthrash.com. wait. It should be right here. Hold on.
Just so we make sure, so in case they want to, follow you guys.
Kingsofthrash.com. You guys can order. I think people are always asking me, what about the merch? Just go through kingsofthrash.com.
Right. And you've got YouTube to see all the videos. So much more coming from this band. Amazing.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Chaz. We'll talk soon.
Carol, be good. Stay cool in Vegas. Don't lose all your money. And I'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Chaz Leon. What a great performer. He is amazing with Kings of Thrash, but he also has his own bands. Black Days, Woke Up Dead. He's going on a huge tour with Black Days. So definitely, if you haven't followed Chaz Leon, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to YouTube for the Kings of Thrash. All the videos, live videos are on there. You're not gonna, this band in 23 and 24, this is not it. This is just the beginning for this band. I am the Vegas rock goddess, Carol Nevin. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.